Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, PenFed Realty, and I'm dressed today for Memorial Day, which is next Monday, and we won't be having a show next Monday. But this Monday, I'm joined with Kim Neufield, who I met when I hosted your Bike Walk Wichita fashion show.
Yes, you did awesome for Bike Beautiful.
So, but you are in charge of Bike Walk Wichita, and tell us what you do.
Yeah, I'm the volunteer executive director, and I try to keep a
So it
handle on
means you don't get paid for what you do. Let me stop you there.
That is true, but it's so worth it. When you see the smiles of all the kids and coming to pick up the bikes and of the volunteers who are getting to make a difference in people's everyday lives, it's worth it. But yeah, there's a lot going on.
So what you do to let people know is you have something to do with those bike lanes. And the reason that this ties into real estate, because there's about 4 subjects I could talk about: food, real estate, concerts, and bicycles. Those are my 4 top.
Love them all.
Yeah,
this is why we get along.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
So, but I could talk about bicycles all day long, but because I'm an avid bicyclist, I have 4 and 4 different types. But one of the things is, we've put those little bike lanes in Old Town through College Hill, and we've made other areas rideable, or like the Prairie Sunset deal.
Yes.
All of these things are new within, the last 4 years?
It has been an amazing uptake. We now have over 100 miles of bike lanes and infrastructure, lots of infrastructure going in. Our city council is very supportive, and the county is doing a lot of amazing projects as well. So we are seeing infrastructure, sidewalk improvements, curb ramps, all of that going in, and it's just really making the city more connected. Makes it easier to move around from your neighborhood to those local venues and businesses that you want to go hang out at and eat at.
So what was funny is a few years ago, a man from Austin was looking online for a house, and I had a funny description of a bathroom in this particular house in College Hill. I said, "It's a bathroom, it's clean, it's in the basement, what do you expect?" And he saw that and came to that open house to talk to me, to hire me to be his agent. And I didn't happen to be there, and he was talking to the agent on site for that open house, and he goes, "Yeah," he says, "I need somebody who rides bikes and goes to like the farm and art market and coffee shop." And that agent just calls me and she goes, "How did this guy know that you would be the perfect agent for him?" And that's one thing that you need to, when you're looking for an agent as well, relating it back to real estate, is you want somebody who kind of has your lifestyle or understands what you want. And he did end up buying that particular house and is super happy with the fact that there are bike lanes, and he can bike from his house to Old Town or go see a friend or go to a coffee shop. So
yeah, we are really seeing more and more people when they're looking for their new home, whether that's a condominium or whether they're just moving to a larger house or downsizing.
I see a lot of downsizing.
We're seeing a lot of downsizing. People want to stay active more, and they want to stay in their homes longer. And so we really feel like this infrastructure really helps you live a better quality of life.
So one of the things that on Friday, we had a bunch of pictures, but they didn't get uploaded today. But so one of the things that I went to on Friday was the Bike to Work event.
Yes.
But the funny part, when I got there, it was like bike because you're retired, because all my friends who were at the lunch were retired.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, and they've all been out, right, and it was a beautiful day. They'd all been around 50, 100 miles and then came in for lunch. And it was like, I want to do that.
Yeah, the lunch we definitely see a little bit more of our retired friends. Oftentimes, if you bike to work, you can also then bike over to lunch. But we had the bike to breakfast stations at 8 locations around town, and they were quite popular, and people have a good time as they're rolling into work. All of a sudden, they get to see free breakfast on the side of the road, and
Yeah,
it's
and
fun.
one of the other things that they announced there is 100 more Zagster bikes.
I know, it's so exciting to see our bike share ICT just take off. I didn't think our community was necessarily ready for it. I was kind of worried, but we have a really high ridership. I hear it's going great. We had over 12,000 rides this first year, so pretty excited to see it expand and to go further beyond downtown.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, they are the bikes that you go rent at those stations, and they're expanding. They stopped at Washington, or
They're going to be expanding,
all the way to Hillside.
all the way and potentially further. So they're supposed to be, announcing the locations very soon.
Yes. Well, I'm on the Transit Committee Advisory Board, and so I know.
Have some inside.
I can't tell. So I'll be back to talk about that at a later date.
Good.
So one of the other things I want to talk about is I also saw you at an event that I went to called Strong Towns.
Yes.
And I
That's
really
amazing.
don't go to every event in town. It just seems like it. But this was at the Wichita Art Museum, and it was a free speech by a guy from Minnesota.
Yes.
And he was just working on a project and then ended up getting some backing and now telling people how to make the core of their town more exciting. And some of the things that we're doing in Wichita was
Yeah.
what he was telling us works.
You know what really stuck with me is he said, Detroit isn't really any different than other cities. It's just about 20 years ahead. And that really scared me.
And
when
that
you're
nobody
looking,
thinks they are a Detroit.
And
They
nobody
think that
thinks
was
they're
an
Detroit.
anomaly, and that was the only one.
That
And
really shook me a bit and has made me really rethink, about how we're doing things. We need to be sustainable.
well, we can't just rely on one industry
Yeah.
to sustain us. But one of the things that they gave us a packet, and one of the things that we picked up in this packet was an event coming up in September. And I'll probably have you on again before this event, but if you want to talk a little bit about what we're looking for volunteers for.
Yes. So WAMPO, which is the Wichita Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, oversees a bike and pedestrian count every year, just so we can get data, see how many people are riding, walking. And what's exciting is this will be going on again in September. We do it a couple days so that we get good data counts. And it's about 35 locations all around the city and out into the county. So we're getting really good data.
So you just see a person standing on the side of the road with a
Yes,
clipboard
if
going,
you see us,
bicyclist,
yes, check.
walker.
Yep. Segway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need
We
people
track
to
'em all.
volunteer with the clipboard.
We do need people to volunteer. It's super fun. And what we've seen is about a 27% increase since 2012, which is a nice, steady increase.
Yeah.
So we are excited. Biking and walking is definitely on the move
When
here
I
in
first
Wichita.
kind of started biking, it was like I could find a couple of friends to do it, and it was kind of like, oh, and then all of a sudden, and then I became a member of the Leukemia Society Century Ride and trained with them, and then all of a sudden it just seemed to take off, and all my friends had bicycles, and
Yeah.
now it's I live by the bike path and I see them all the time. So you want to talk a little bit about what the rental rates are for the Zagster? It's on there.
Yeah, so if you're interested in hitting one of the Bike Share ICT locations, the bikes are super comfortable, first of all.
I haven't used one.
They are awesome. Oh, you have to go and try them out. So we insisted that they have baskets, lights, locks. They are ready to roll at any time of day or night, and they're all year round. So it's basically 3 hours, $3 an hour.
Okay.
If you don't have a membership. And if you do have a membership, then that first hour is always free, and then it's $2 an hour.
And is there like a year membership?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
how much is that?
Yes, it's I believe $36 a
Yeah,
year.
that's
Or
amazing.
$30.
It's $30 for the
even
entire
better.
year to have a membership to
So
rent
it
one
pays
of those
for it,
bikes.
and plus it supports the program. So
Right.
it's a really good feature.
So get out there and check out the Zagster bikes, except during River Festival because they're always gone. River Festival, they are just
But don't worry, we'll be doing free bike valet parking. So
Oh, that's
just
true.
ride your own bike to the festival, we'll park.